13 years is a long time to carry a bruise you can't show. High school ends, but the ache keeps humming under the skin. Research in 2025 ties long ago bullying to anxiety, depression, and even PTSD-like spikes that flare when you least expect it. That was me, keeping my head down, counting headaches, telling myself it was over. Let me pass the mic to my imaginary friend Michael because some truths sit better one step removed. Meet Bill, the small king of cheap shots, the smirk that found the back of your head in gym. He wasn't the top dog, just the kid who smelled weakness and made it sport. I was quiet, thin, and easy to ignore until it hurt not to. Years later, I learned about the chaos in his house. It explained a few things, but it didn't heal anything in me. Therapists say old bullying scripts shape how you see yourself and other people long after graduation. They're right, trust gets thin, joy feels rented, anger learns patience. So I wanted something clean, private, and safe. No threats, no fists, no face-to-face. An idea started as a whisper, the kind Reddit eats up, a story told at 2 a.m. with the lights off. Anonymous, simple, and aimed where it would prick pride, not break bones. I found Bill's online life neat and public. I found the person he bragged about loving and the people who loved her back. Then I built a plan with cash, envelopes, and a borrowed computer. One letter, many copies, a mask in a crowd, and a mailbox far from home. Did it change anything? You'll see. What you're about to read isn't cruel for sport, it's a pressure valve for years of silence. If you've ever swallowed the laugh of someone who hurt you, you'll get why this matters. Stay with Michael. The payoff took 13 years to arrive. Facing Bill's high school terror every day. High school felt like a maze with one trap at every turn. I learned to scan doorways, hug hall walls, and shrink my steps. The routine wasn't fear in a movie sense, it was small and constant, like a sharp pebble in a shoe. Every day had the same question in my head: where is Bill and how close is he? Anxiety made a home in my body. My temples pulsed, my thoughts blurred, and words slipped away when I needed them. Research today ties bullying to headaches, sleep issues, and a foggy mind. Back then, I just thought I was failing at being normal. Sneak attacks in gym and between classes. Gym class was a stage for cheap shots that drew laughs. I still feel the thud that stopped the room for a heartbeat. A basketball thrown from behind cracked the back of my head. The guys nearby laughed, the coach didn't see, and I pretended it didn't matter. My scalp tingled, my ears rang, and my thoughts scattered like dropped papers. Between classes, it kept going. The quick pop to the shoulder blades, the smack between the shoulder and neck, the shove that sent my book skidding. He moved fast and grinned faster. People saw the grin, not the hit. I started walking with my backpack high, trying to shield the spot he always found. Pavlov would have smiled at how well I adapted. The body keeps score. Headaches bloomed by second period and clung to me through lunch. I lost the thread of what teachers said. Words on the board swam when I tried to follow them. Stress narrows the mind, and mine narrowed to two thoughts: keep distance, don't react. It wasn't just pain, it was the laughter after the pain. The laugh said I didn't belong, and the crowd agreed by doing nothing. Noise followed me even when the hallway emptied. My brain stayed on high alert like a smoke alarm that never stops. The fog set in, slow and steady, until it felt normal. Little choices piled up. I sat by exits, left class a minute early, and took the long route to avoid his pack. I swallowed pain pills I couldn't name, hid in the library, and told myself it was fine. It wasn't fine, it was survival. The routine hits trained my body to brace for impact. The bracing turned into headaches and a slow, sticky mind. The fog made schoolwork feel like wading through wet cement. Collar yanks and whispered insults. The worst moments happened close. Bill loved the collar yank. 2 fingers hooked the back of my shirt, sharp and sudden, dragging me off balance. He pulled me toward him, close enough for sour breath and a whisper. The words were small and cruel: weak, stick, girl, loser. He said them like a chant, then let me go with a pat that felt like ownership. He didn't always aim for my face. He aimed for how I saw myself. Behind my back he mimed my walk, puffed his chest, bent his knees, and did the hunch I didn't know I had. His crew laughed. Mine kept eyes down. The echo of those mocks traveled farther than any shove. I ran with the kids who ate lunch near the vending machines. The magic, the gathering crowd, the anime hoodie kids, the band kid with drumsticks in his pocket. Good people, quiet people. We built a small island, safe in parts, thin in others. When Bill cut across that space, the air went still. Jokes died mid-sentence, and we counted breaths until he moved on. Confidence cracks in layers. It starts with a flinch you cannot stop. Then you learn to scan faces for danger. Then you hear his voice even when he is not there. Teachers asked for answers and my words shrank to a whisper. I avoided eye contact so much that I forgot how to hold it. Insults don't leave bruises, but they mark you anyway. They stain how you hear your own name. I wore mine like a paper tag, flimsy and wet. At night, I replayed his words and then argued with him in my head. I always won in those fake debates. In the morning, I kept quiet. What stuck most was the choice he forced on me: defend myself and risk more hits, or stay silent and keep my small peace. I chose silence for years. That choice grew into a knot of anger I carried into my 20s. It fed the headaches and the fog, and it taught me one hard truth: some bullies never stop until someone interrupts the story. My path to strength and buried resentment. Time did not blur the hits, it sharpened them. I grew up, moved cities, learned to breathe without flinching at every footstep behind me. On paper, life looked stable. Inside, a small red light kept blinking. It was the old story, the one Bill wrote on my nerves, asking if I still remembered. I did. Growth came first as a defense, then as a habit. I carried myself taller, spoke louder, and learned to meet eyes without dropping mine. Friends stopped calling me fragile. Strangers read confidence in my posture. Headaches eased, focus returned, and the fog that clung to my high school years thinned out. That should have been enough. But resentment stayed put. It buried itself under the routines I built and the wins I stacked. It was quiet, but it did not sleep. Some nights it pushed a memory forward, bright as a flare, the basketball to the head, the collar tug, the word that stuck. I did not want to be ruled by it. Yet I could feel it choosing my steps. I told myself the past was past. I told myself empathy mattered since pain had lived in his house too. Both things could be true and still not cancel the damage. Growth showed me I could carry more weight. Resentment whispered that I had a debt to settle. I had more strength, but the bruise stayed in memory. I had a voice, but silence felt safer when I thought of him. I had control, but anger asked for a plan. It was not about rage anymore, it was about balance. The scale in my head tilted a little more each year toward action, away from letting him live rent-free. 13 years is a long time to hold a note. Mine did not fade, it turned steady and clear. Shaking off the frail kid label. I stopped moving like prey. The old flinch did not vanish, but it loosened its grip. I built a frame that matched the person I believed I could be. I trained my mind to sit with stress without sinking into fog. I set boundaries that did not bend under pressure. People who knew me back then would have walked past me on the street. Still, the label clung in one place, the private reel in my head where Bill never missed. Growth repainted the present, but the past kept its original colors. I could lift my day higher, yet one thought pulled me back below the baseline. He had taken my peace and I had let it happen. I was not chasing glory. I did not want a scene or a fight or even a speech. I wanted a clean correction, something that matched the quiet way the harm was done, a move without a spotlight but with weight. The grudge did not shout. It tapped the glass, steady and patient, asking if the strong version of me would do what the frail version could not. Every time I said, "Let it go," the tap returned. Every year I improved, the memory asked for closure. I knew what I would not do. I also knew I was done wearing his fingerprints on my life. I shook off the label in public. In private, I kept one promise to myself. When the moment came, I would answer that tap with something cold, simple, and final. Tracking Bill's life for the perfect strike. Patience made the plan sharp. I did not rush, I watched. People leave crumbs when they think no one is looking, little tags and posts and public notes that sketch a map. I stuck to what anyone could see. No hacking, no trespassing, no contact, just open doors and quiet clicks with the kind of focus you build when you have waited 13 years for a clean move. I treated his life like a puzzle on a kitchen table. Names here, faces there, dates in the corners. Push them together long enough and a picture forms. The trick was simple: keep it legal, keep it cold, and never touch the glass. Finding names and homes in public spots. If you need a full cast list, start with the loudest signals and work toward the quieter ones. I built out 10 contacts tied to Bill's fiancée, all from public places where people volunteer their details. Each step stayed on the safe side of the line. Fiancé's profile first. Scan public posts, visible bio lines, and open photo captions. Names of parents, siblings, and close friends often show up on birthdays, holidays, and big life updates. The parents found by celebration post. Look for Happy Birthday, Mom captions, Mother's Day notes, and tagged photos at family dinners. Public tags often reveal first and last names without any digging. Siblings and group photos. Graduation albums and childhood throwbacks turn up brothers and sisters. Cross-check last names, faces, and comments to confirm the tie. The best friend loud in the comments. The person who replies first and most under big announcements is usually inner circle. Engagement posts make this easy. Names, cities, and workplaces often sit right in their bios. The wedding party shortlist. Look for posts that say future maid of honor or standing next to her on the big day. People love titles. Titles point to priority. The future in-laws via public family trees. Engagement congratulations draw relatives from both sides. Scan last names that match her family and his. Public posts reveal who belongs where. Public registry breadcrumbs. Wedding registry pages often show names, event dates, and sometimes city. No account needed if the couple made it public. Use that to confirm who is who, not to pry further. Alumni and class groups in the open. Public alumni pages and class year groups list names and cities. Match photos and hometowns to lock in identities without guessing. Directory snapshots used as confirmation. Basic entries on public directory sites like Whitepages can show general location and possible relatives. Treat this as a cross-check against what the public posts already told you. Local news announcements and obits. Engagement blurbs, wedding announcements, company award notes, and obituaries connect full names across generations. These pages are public and often rich with family links. Keep the pattern clean. Only use open sources anyone can see. Verify each name with at least 2 public clues like city plus photo or surname plus a tagged event. Avoid contact, no messages, no friend requests, no likes. You are mapping, not mingling. Save neutral notes, dates, names, visible cities, nothing more. What builds the tension is not speed, it is certainty. When the picture is clear, you do not need noise. You just need the right moment, the right line, and the nerve to keep your hands steady. The letters that warned of Bill's true nature. The plan hinged on paper and silence. No confrontation, no names, just a hard truth folded in plain envelopes and sent to the people who could stop a wedding. If words had once hurt me, words would now protect her. That was the point, not to scorch the earth but to light a flare where it mattered. Words from a past girlfriend to save her. The letter wore a simple voice like a friend whispering over coffee. It opened with concern, not drama, and it kept a steady tone. A past girlfriend spoke up not for pity but for safety. Dear name, I know this comes out of nowhere and I wish I didn't have to send it, but I am worried for fiancé's name. I dated Bill and I saw 2 versions of him. In public he smiled, in private he hit. It started with slaps then punches. Once he gave me a black eye, another time I went to local hospital for a rib he broke. I kept hopping, it was a phase, it got worse. I'm not asking for anything, I just want fiancé's name safe. If you love her, please keep an eye out. I hope I am wrong, I don't think I am. From someone who wishes she had warned a friend sooner. It was short and cold the way a warning should be, no threats. No return address, no insults that could be dismissed as spite, just facts wrapped in care sent to the ring of people who would close ranks fast. The recipients mattered. 10 envelopes went to the inner circle linked to her name, parents, the brother with birthday posts. The best friend who commented first on the engagement, the aunt who shared every family photo, and the fiancée herself. Each address matched a public breadcrumb, the kind people share when life feels sunny and safe. The same letter, steady and measured, landed in each mailbox within a few days. The effect is quiet at first. A parent reads it, folds it back, sets it down, and does not forget a word. A friend texts, "Have you seen this?" A fiancé faces questions he cannot dodge with charm. That is how a story starts to crumble, not with shouting but with doubt that spreads hand to hand. Sending with disguise in a distant town. The drop had rules. Cash for envelopes and stamps bought in small stacks a few cities away. A guest computer at a busy library for the draft and the address sheet. Prints paid in cash, no account, a name scribbled in the sign-in log that matched no card. At home, gloves on, water to seal, tape to fix the typed labels. No return address, no flourish, just plain mail that looked like every other bill in the pile. The disguise was basic and boring, which is the best kind. Hoodie up, cheap sunglasses, a surgical mask that blended in with half the crowd. The letters went into a public blue mailbox near a grocery store parking lot with steady foot traffic and 3 cameras pointing at nobody in particular. In and out under 2 minutes. Keep walking, do not look back. Why the legal risk stayed low came down to a few pillars, all shaped by caution, not bravado. One-time contact, not a campaign. A single batch of letters is less likely to be seen as ongoing harassment. Repeated messages raise flags fast. No threats, no stalking, no demands. Threatening or menacing language can turn a letter into a criminal issue in many states. None of that language appeared here. Content framed as concern. The letter read as a warning and a plea to protect someone, not an attack for sport. Civil risk, not criminal if challenged. Claims about defamation or invasion of privacy live in civil court and hinge on proving falsity and harm. That is different from facing charges over a threat through the mail. Mail laws matter, but intent matters more. Using the mail to threaten can trigger criminal charges. Using it to share a non-threatening account usually falls, if at all, into lower-level issues unless part of a pattern. This was not a legal victory lap. It was a calculated bet. The worst realistic outcome, if anyone pushed it, would be a misdemeanor theory tied to harassing or alarming communications. That risk stays small when the note avoids threats, arrives once, and does not ask for money, favors, or contact. The plan always honored one line: no violence, no lies, no gloating inside the envelope. The message did its work because it sounded like what it claimed to be, a clear voice from the past asking people to keep someone they love out of harm's way. That tone, paired with distance and disguise, kept the heat low while turning the pressure up where it counted. Seeing Bill's world crumble from afar. I watched the fallout the way you watch a storm map, one pixel at a time. No contact, no gloating, just quiet checks on public profiles and small tells that stacked into a clear picture. Privacy settings can hide a lot on Facebook, but public breadcrumbs still slip through. People comment, captions change, photos vanish. When an engagement cracks, the feed almost hums with it. What I saw said the wedding wasn't happening, not now, maybe not ever. I didn't dance in my chair, but the relief hit hard. Years of pressure let go in a single breath. He had wasted my time back then. Now the clock swung back. The Facebook sign of broken plans. It never arrived as one blast. It came as a slow fade of hope around those two. The engagement announcement that once sat pinned at the top, gone. The registry link, once posted on a happy afternoon, no longer shared. The "can't wait to stand beside you" comments stopped getting replies. The timeline felt like a room with the lights out. Little changes told the real story. The profile photo shifted to a solo shot in soft light. Captions on old couple photos got edited, then the photos disappeared. Mutual friends posted careful encouragement like "thinking of you" and "you've got this." Her mom's comments turned warm but vague, no wedding dates, no headcounts. I watched the status label too. People can hide it, which makes the change easy to miss, but the silence after the edits said enough. The excitement cooled, the planning chatter dried up, the congratulations stopped. Algorithms push what gets attention, and nothing about that engagement had heat anymore. Behind my screen, that small red light inside me finally dimmed. I felt a clean kind of joy, not wild, not cruel, like setting down a heavy bag after a long walk. He had drained my peace for years. Seeing the path bend away from him felt like balance at last. A simple smiley to stir his fears. 1 year later, I mailed a single sheet with one thing on it, a giant smiley face. No words, no threats, just a bright circle, 2 dots, and a curve wide enough to fill the page. It was ridiculous and perfect, cheerful on the surface, full of meaning underneath. That smile said I saw the fallout. It said someone is out here, awake and patient. It hinted at more without promising anything. A cartoon mask with teeth in it. The kind of note that makes a man stare at a blank wall and replay old mistakes. Why a smiley? Because it is nothing and everything. It is legal air. It is the echo in a hallway. He could show it to no one without admitting the letters mattered. He could ignore it, but he would still think about it in bed. He could laugh, but the laugh would sound thin. I pictured the steps it might set off. He looks around more. He scans his mail. He checks social feeds for names he can't find. He thinks twice before he boasts. He wonders which bridge is safe and which one is rotten. Fear is loud when it has no source. That single page was my weather vane. It did not harm him, it did not touch him. It sat there bright and stupid, redefining silence. And somewhere I imagine a pulse jumped, a small win for a long memory, a grin sent by mail letting him know the past still keeps score. 13 years brewed a storm of buried pain, but that single batch of letters cracked the sky open. Bill's world shifted, his wedding dreams scattered like leaves in wind, all from whispers of truth that echoed his hidden side. You felt the tension build through every sneak attack in gym, every collar yank that stole breath, every fog of headaches that clouded young days. Now picture the release. A fiancé spared, a bully left scanning shadows, and one quiet soul tasting justice without a single face-to-face. Emotional freedom hit like cool rain after drought. Those old scripts of weakness faded, replaced by a steady pulse of control, yet the ethical line blurs here, doesn't it? Revenge dances in gray zones where concern masks payback, and silence holds more power than shouts. Studies from 2025 show bullying scars run deep, fueling anxiety, lost trust, and even PTSD echoes that linger into adulthood. Revenge fantasies, they bubble up as cries for balance, but true healing demands we face them head-on, not let them rule. What if your own story simmers the same way? Share it in the comments below, Reddit style. Tell us about the bully who haunted your halls, the grudge that grew roots, or the move that set you free. Your words could spark light for someone still in the dark. Bullies thrive on unbroken silence. Break it. Rise taller, speak your truth, and leave their shadows in the dust. You've got the strength, now claim the peace. The past loses its grip when you choose to walk forward unburdened and fierce.